I just called 911 on accident while trying to film this. So there is no emergency. Everything is okay. But I felt really bad. But all is good. We're here. Okay. Welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, my name is Monica and I am a direct-to-consumer e-commerce operator of my own store, as well as a direct-to-consumer e-commerce marketing specialist. So thanks for joining me here, and I hope you learned something today. Today, we are going to talk about lists versus segments on Klaviyo. So I'm sure if you are a Klaviyo user, you've noticed that you can upload lists or create segments. But what is the difference here? We're gonna dive in. All right, first, a list. A list is static. So that means that you can upload a list, or people can join a list by signing up for your newsletter, etc. So if you upload a list, you can rename it. It doesn't have to be your newsletter list. You can just have a main list. You get the point there. Okay, so if that's a list, what the heck is a segment? Segments are dynamic. That means they're changing in real time and are created based off of something that your customer has done. What have they done or what haven't they done to be in that list? And if they, for instance, let's just create an example to clear the air here. You have a segment of non-purchasers. Betsy over here is a non-purchaser, but all of a sudden she buys something. Okay, she's no longer in that segment. So you get the point. It is not static. It is a very dynamic. At one point, someone can be over here and then all of a sudden they're not. Okay, so those are the two different things, lists and segments, but how do we use them? And what segments should we have set up? So if you are just constantly sending to your list, you're just blasting your entire list with every piece of news that you have, it's likely that your deliverability is going to be damaged. Here's why. When you're constantly blasting your whole list and it's not specific information to that customer in their user journey, here's what happens. Not as many people open it, not as many people engage with it, you don't get as many clicks. And when all of that is happening, it's telling the internet algorithm that it's spam. So if you just blast that list, it's probably much more likely gonna be in spam or the promotions folder in Gmail. And we all know we don't wanna live there. So here's what we got to do. We're gonna build these segments. Okay, so I like to build a main list that is a segment. I know that's confusing. You can call it your main jam segment, whatever you want. But it is, this is the definition, and I'm going to put a screenshot here so that it is not confusing. Properties about someone is that their email contains an @ and not or, and is inclusive, or is not inclusive. And if someone is not suppressed for email. Okay, so their email has an @ in it and they are not suppressed. So this is everyone that is somewhere in your ESP who has not clicked unsubscribe. These should be your subscribers. The other two lists that you're gonna wanna have, you're gonna wanna have your engaged subscribers and your unengaged subscribers. So building this engaged subscribers, it depends on where you're at in your infancy or maturity of your account. If you are brand spanking new to Klaviyo, you want to build a list that is engaged in the last 30 days. This is because we want to go through the warming process. I will leave the warming process for another video because that's a whole other thing. So if you are new to Klaviyo, engaged last 30 days. Engaged means that they've opened, clicked an email. Got it? If you are not new to Klaviyo, you can expand that out, but test that group. Send them a campaign that's relevant a newsletter, something. If the open rate is 20%, you're good. Expand it to engage 60 days. If the open rate there is 20, expand, and go as far as engage last 180 days. Then I like to build an unengaged group. I do unengaged last 5 campaign sends. So that is that they have received an email at least 5 times. They have opened the email, clicked the email, never, so 0 times, and that person is not suppressed. This is your unengaged group. The unengaged last 5 campaigns, we're gonna want to try to do a win back campaign with this group because you wanna get them into that engaged group. But do we see what we mean here? We're not gonna send our engaged customers the same thing we're gonna send our unengaged customers. We're gonna try to get the unengaged people re-engaged. If they don't come back, we're gonna suppress them. We don't need to pay for people who don't wanna open our emails. You heard? Okay, so the reason that we use segments over just blasting our list is that it generates better open rates. The people who are in these segments are more likely to open because you are being specific to them. Like I was just saying, the unengaged group, the engaged group, the messaging is a little different there. So unengaged group, it could be like, hey, are you still interested in what we're doing? Subject line, you get it. The engaged group, this is just like weekly news, whatever. They love your brand, they open your emails. Cool, give them the stuff they want. Unengaged people, hey, you wanna hang out or not? Peace. So when we utilize segments, we're more likely to hit that inbox. We're not gonna go to spam, we're not gonna go to promo, and that is where we wanna live. Segmentation leads to higher open rates, higher conversions, and much longer retention on your customers. So what do we think? Lists, segments, you in? You gonna try some of these things? Cool. Let me know what segments you're using down below. I can't wait to hear it. Let's compare notes. Let's see what you're doing. If you have questions about this, hit me up. I'll help for sure. Thanks so much for tuning in. If this was helpful, it's so helpful for me. If I helped you, help me. Give me a subscribe, give it a like, all of those things. And I hope you come back and learn about Klaviyo more with me. Have a great Friday night. I'm just gonna be here serving you up some content.